So it's my honor and pleasure to be in the Plantronics suite starting CES 2017 today, and I'm here with Cary, Bran, and Jaap Haartsen. I got to make sure that I pronounce the names right. But Cary, of course, manages new initiatives and new projects and new technology at Plantronics. And Jaap is fair to be referred to as the father of Bluetooth, and someone who invented the technology. So I'm going to pass the microphone over to them, let them introduce themselves, say what they do, and I'll just ask them a few questions.
All right. Is this okay? Okay. All right.
So, Cary, you were on our show a couple of episodes ago talking about Bluetooth and what was going on with that, and now we're here at CES, where there's so much Bluetooth on the floor you can't, spit without hitting something. How do you perceive that? What's your take on the explosion of Bluetooth this year?
Oh, I think it's, Bluetooth is continuing to be more and more pervasive. We're seeing a lot more uptake in devices that are leveraging the technology. So it's easy to connect with, it's easy to have interoperability. So I can see that, that can drive a lot of adoption and actually productization of new things.
Okay. And Jaap, is this something that you envisioned when you invented the technology? Did you see it all over the place like this?
Well, no, actually not. It was back in 1994 when I started to think about a technology like Bluetooth. And of course, you have in mind certain use scenarios, but the amount and the number of devices that we see now on the marketplace, it's so huge. I could not envision that. And that's also because I could not envision the fact that we would have smartphones, we would have iPads, these kind of devices. They make really the enablers for Bluetooth. And it's has been a drive for this big increase in the use of Bluetooth.
So knowing what you know now, would you have changed anything the way you started it, or were you comfortable with the way you developed everything?
Well, the point was when I created Bluetooth, one of the things what was one concern was about interference between different devices. And of course, interference is more of a problem when you get more and more of these devices. But as I could not foresee how much there would be, I had to go from the worst case. We are using a band where we knew that there were other interference as well beside Bluetooth. So by using, for example, the frequency hopping technique and making it very small bandwidth, I made sure that it would also survive in very hostile environments. And apparently that has been a good choice, because still now when we see that many devices and we know that they interfere with each other, we still have good performance and still good performance in our quality of what we want to achieve.
What are you working on nowadays?
Well, nowadays I'm working as a senior expert within in Plantronics as a wireless expert. I'm looking not only at Bluetooth but at all kind of different technologies that are coming up, also in the IoT space, and looking at what kind of sweet spots are there technologies that can overtake Bluetooth, for example, or wireless LAN or whatever, because we have to be on our toes on that. Of course, when new things come up that can overtake our new old technology, that we have to be starting to dilute them as well. So that is the main the work that I've been doing lately within Plantronics.
Perfect. And Cary, Jaap talks very clearly about IoT devices and what's going on with IoT and IoT security. It's something that's finally starting to be taken seriously. I know Plantronics has been working with a number of developments around biometrics, voice recognition. Is there anything that you're looking at in that space right now that you think is going to be coming out in the next year or two?
Yeah, so I mean, we're definitely interested in security. I mean, when we have these, very personal devices that are worn on your body, we need to make sure that the data that they're transmitting is going to a place that you are comfortable with. We want to make sure that it's encrypted, but we also want to make sure that it's easy to actually connect these devices together. So, and I think there's a lot of initiatives in the Bluetooth SIG and with wireless technologies in general where you can actually have confidence in the connection and the security of the connection. I think the big problem for the IoT is once you've made that connection between two devices, is where does that data go? And I think that's a big problem that is something that is being readily tackled in industry, but it's still nascent days.
Okay. So if there are people who weren't able to come to CES this year, and I know you guys haven't been on the show floor yet, but what are the kinds of things that would be your highlights, the things that you're looking forward to seeing on the floor this year when you get down there?
I think to Jaap's credit, I mean, when you go down to the floor at CES, it is one of the most hostile environments for Bluetooth out there. You've got hundreds of thousands of these little devices, and they're all working at the same time. So just walking the floor in CES is it's proof that it is scalable and can handle the density. For me, my favorite thing that I like to do is go and visit the smaller companies. So I love going to the innovation area where you've got these little startups from different countries and just seeing what's going on there. I think that for me is more rewarding than looking at the latest BMW, though I do like those as well.
Anything that you're looking forward to seeing once you get down there, from a technology standpoint?
From a technology, I'm really interested in, how we're using voice and audio to drive the user experience. I'm looking at devices that can take, can make the experience very personalized for people simply by talking into them. And we've been doing that quite a bit inside of Plantronics, but I want to see how the industry is embracing that. So that's what I'm going to be looking at.
And Jaap, what about you? Anything that you're interested in seeing?
Yeah, well, last November I was inducted in the Hall of Fame of the CTA, the Consumer Technology Association that creates this CES. And I have to confess that I've never been to a CES. So this is my first time. I'm very impressed by the scope, what I already see around me, although I have not been there yet. So I'm going to get my badge in a few hours from now, and I start to walk in the floor to get an impression of how a CES really looks like.
They've given out ribbons this year that show how many years you've been attending CES. Your ribbon probably won't have a number of years on it.
No, it will be a green one.
It would be nice if you had a ribbon that said Father of Bluetooth. You get some pats on the back.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so last question for both of you, and I know I kind of asked this already, but one more time just to do it. If you had a crystal ball, what should people be looking at from Plantronics? A year from now, 2 years from now. What are going to be the areas that you think people should be concentrating on?
Yeah, I mean, from the Plantronics perspective, I think people should be expecting more and more from the small devices that are on their person. We have been embedding sensors in our devices for many years, but we've not just been embedding the sensor technology, we've been developing the algorithms to make these devices intelligent. So I think when we look at it, we're looking at the workplace as a place where we can integrate in across the fabric of the enterprise, not only on the body, but in the cloud. And Plantronics is really gaming to make the experience of work and home life very pleasurable and frictionless. So that's what we're aiming for.
Terrific, gentlemen. Thank you. Hope you have a great CES 2017, and I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks.
Thank you.